Hey everyone, this is Dansparce, and we are playing Pokemon FireRed. This video is going to be a lot shorter than the last one. We're just going to get through Mount Moon. So, it's going to be hopefully shorter. I hope. Because the last video was half an hour. It's not mean for it to go half an hour. Bullet Seed. Oh, I'm also well aware that I did not nickname my Magikarp, which I did not mean to not name Magikarp. Just these things happen, you know. They just happen. What are you gonna do? There's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. So Mount Moon. Now, I don't know if I want to catch anything in Mount Moon. You know, can't really get a Crobat if you catch a Zubat. So I don't think I want. And Zubats are a bitch to train early on. They learn like nothing forever, and so you're hitting things with really weak moves. It's like, no thank you. I don't really want a Clefairy. I'm too impatient. Oops, didn't mean to run, but oh well. So there's a Clefairies, there's Geodudes. Can't trade Evolve, so I don't really want the Geodude. And then there's Paris. Don't really want those either. I think I'm good. Just not having anything from Mount Moon. I think it would be best. Now, I hope this video has better audio, because last time the game audio was creeping up there, because I don't really talk very loud. So I'm hoping that this time the audio will be better. I'm still really new to this, so it's very hard to figure out what's what. I really hate these battles. Kinda wish I caught a flying type, so I could just quickly pick off these stupid bugs, but what are you gonna do? There's nothing you can do. I'm not gonna go back and catch a Spearow or a Pidgey. I don't want them anyway. You know, I could always throttle, but I won't. Because it sounds terrible in videos when you throttle. Ah, screw it. Just try to ignore the horrible sound. Just, you know, pretend it's not there. Pretend you're just You didn't hear anything, right? Right? You didn't hear anything. I'm gonna go over here, blah 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 blah. Oops. Get in there. Okay. So that was a fun little detour. What to talk about? I know last video I started getting onto a rambling thing about Star Wars. Gonna not do that this time. I will talk about Star Trek for a second, and Star Wars. I will talk a little bit about both, because as you all know probably, J.J. Abrams doing the Star Wars sequels, and J.J. Abrams did the Trek reboot. And I remember when they announced that J.J. was doing Star Wars, it had me really nervous, because for me, you know, Star Wars has such a specific style. There is a theme to the universe that flows in all media, whether it's video games, movies, the TV shows. There is a style to the universe. And, you know, and there was a style to Star Trek. There was a style to the TNG era Trek, and there's also a style to the TOS era, and they kind of went away from that style. Both styles. You know, obviously they wouldn't have done TNG era Trek, but it would have been nice to see the Vulcan ship in the reboot, the Jellyfish, have some of the TNG era, because it was from the TNG era. You know, even Star Trek Online, which takes place after the Prime Universe events where Romulus is destroyed, it still looks like, you know, TNG era Trek, just a, you know, slightly more advanced version of it. But the Jellyfish doesn't really look like that, and you know, the Romulan ship doesn't really look like that. There's like, the style is a bit different, and I remember I was very worried that, you know, but they could get away with it with Trek because it was a different universe, it was a different timeline, so styles can be different in the different timelines. Excuse me. And I was really worried because the new Star Wars movies are not a separate timeline. They are the same timeline continuing on. Although I guess you could argue that they are a separate timeline if you want to consider all the extended universe stuff after Return of the Jedi as being one timeline, and now this being a new timeline. But I think there's a difference, because I don't think there will be a split in the same sort of way with time travel and all that. But I'll get off that. So it's not supposed to be a new timeline. There isn't supposed to be a new timeline. It's not supposed to be like a reboot or anything. And so, but I was still very worried that J.J. Abrams would put his sort of stuff with, like, you know, he would redo the style. I was very worried. But then the set photo leaks started coming out. And even though some of it doesn't look quite right, like there's some creatures and things that don't look really like I would expect them to be in a Star Wars movie. Sorry, I just completely forgot I was playing a game for a second. The buildings and the structures and the writing still looks like, the writing looks like Arabesh. The style of the buildings and the costumes look Star Wars. So I am very... That alleviated a lot of my fears. So it looks like he's sticking to the style. I just hope he doesn't stick a lot of lens flares. I know he likes lens flares, but I don't need lens flares like on all the lightsabers and stuff. That'd be pretty hilarious though, if like every time a lightsaber ignited in the new things, like it would cause a huge lens flare. Oh. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the new Star Wars movies, and I found out recently that Brienne from Game of Thrones is going to be in the new Star Wars movies, and just, oh, be still my heart. I love Brienne, I love the actress. I listened to the commentary tracks that have her on it, on the Season 3 DVDs. She is a delight. Like, she's completely different than her character on the show, but you know, when you actually hear her talk especially this season with more of the comedic things with Podrick, you can see a little bit of the actress in Brienne, and it's great. I love it. I love her. Oh, Brienne. Oh, probably one of my favorite characters in Game of Thrones, and in Song of Ice and Fire. Her relationship with Jaime is probably one of the more interesting arcs I find. You know, Jaime's whole arc through the series is interesting, but you know, specifically when it gets to Brienne, it's good. And you know, you just want Brienne and Jaime to leave Westeros and go off somewhere and have some awesome blonde babies who can fight really well, who hopefully have the looks of Jaime and the strength of Brienne. But either way, they'd be awesome. I think but you know, that's never gonna happen. You never get happiness in Game of Thrones. This battle's taking a long time. I'm gonna throttle. Just ignore the obnoxious throttling noise. Pretend it's not there. You do not hear anything of the throttling. I'm gonna throttle through the cave. Let's now awesome. Yep. You know, I'm probably going to be throttling. I'm going to run into a shiny Pokemon and I'm going to run away from it. Because that's usually how I roll. I remember the first time I found a shiny Pokemon. I didn't know what it was, and I killed it. It was in, I think, Silver. Pokemon Silver. Found a shiny Weepinbell, I think it was. It was either Silver or Gold. It was Gen 2 though, and I found a shiny Weepinbell. I killed it. Didn't know. I had the shiny sparkly thing, had no idea what shinies were, so there was no reason for me to think it was anything special. Like, at that point, I hadn't even been to... I don't think I had been to, where the Gyarados was? Of course, I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. And I could have just not realized it was shiny at the time. But I think I saw it was shiny, but I know it definitely was shiny, because I remember, like, as soon as, like, I remember seeing a, the sprite of another Weepinbell, and it was a different color, and I was like, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. And I hated myself. Well, I didn't hate myself at first because I didn't realize how rare shinies were. And they were even, I think they were even rarer back then. I think they've gotten a little less rare. I think. Don't quote me on that though. Map mode's kind of a drag. No, wait, I probably shouldn't have gone to Ekans. Or, whatever, doesn't matter. Oh my god, these fucking Zubats. Zubats everywhere. That's Mount Moon for you, though. Zubats and Geodudes. But mostly Zubats. No. Haha. We will change for that, though. Ooh. Let's take a little breather for a second. Collect ourselves. Alright. I have a berry, actually. Let's use that instead. Use that on you. Okay. Let's keep this going. We're like almost halfway through, but this seems to be taking a long time. So you know what? I'm going to stop the recording now. When we get back, we'll finish this battle and we'll get through the rest of Mount Moon. This has been Dansparce. Like, comment, subscribe, leave me comments. I love getting comments and questions and things so I can actually have something to talk about instead of just ramble on. You can ask me anything. Anything at all. It's fine. It's totally fine. If it's not fine, I just won't answer it. So yeah, until next time. Bye!